welcome to the show. So, in just a second, Mehdi Hassan has issued a dire warning of potential civil war in this country. That's something in the past I would have poo-pooed. I would have said, nah, man, that's a little much. But when you listen to the explanation, it's like, yeah, I can see that happening. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Israel.
Well. First of all, that's not far-fetched. Believe that. Did you catch that? Did you see that? You see, that's not far-fetched. You got to think. We under the hands of the devil, Mr. Paleface, your slave master. You see? Evil, wicked, demon, devil. He's not fit for the ruler seat. You see? See? But the Heavenly Father, he set this demon up, man. These devils, these honkies, these peckerwoods, these crackers. You understand? You see, he set these demon devils up. You see? And it's going to be a civil war. Yes, it's in the scriptures, man. You see? Yes, nothing but violence. You see? Hell yeah. People getting their throats slit. Bitches getting raped, getting gangbanged, getting took out to no man's land. You see? See? Yes. Getting tossed and snatched up in F-150s, Ram trucks. You see? Taking your bitch ass way out to no man's land. You evil ass nigga women bitches. Bitches, period. You see? Yes. So get prepared for civil wars, civil unrest. Believe that. Did you see that? Did you catch that? You see? Yes. It's gonna happen, man. At a moment's notice. You see? So, all you comfortable ass Babylonians that fail to visualize and recognize and look alive and see, you on your dig, you know what I mean? You see? You're going to get caught off guard by the death and terror and destruction. What's coming in Babylon the Great? Civil wars. Yes, up wars. You see? See? Sedition among men. Motherfuckers going to be raiding people's houses. You see? Yeah, your neighbors. I mean, your home skillets that you grew up with. You thought was your homeboys. Did you see that shit? You see? It's going to happen, man. Flat the fuck out, man. Don't give a fuck what you stupid ass, dumb ass, naive, idiot, wicked ass, dusty, crusty ass, black demon, devil ass niggas believe. You see? Because your ass is bamboozled by the devil. You see? This will happen, man, when you a slave nigga slave for centuries, man. And decades. You see? Let's get a scripture, man. You see? It's about to go down, man. Hell yeah. You know what I mean? Try to make this fast as possible, man. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 20. You see? It's the book of First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 20. Them that sin rebuke before all. You see? Hell yeah, man. For you can turn back to the Heavenly Father, the Most High God of Israel. Did you see that? Believe that. You see? See? The grace period, man. Because he about to fuck this place up, man. He got his eyes up on Babylon the Great. You understand? You see? See? The Heavenly Father, he ain't too pleased with this filthy, nasty ass, demonic ass place. And evil, wicked ass sinners that hate his son. You see? You know what I mean? It's the book of First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 20. You see? First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 20. First Timothy 5 and verse 20. Them that sin rebuke before all. See? Man, them niggas wicked, man. Them niggas wicked. They always getting on niggas. They always trying to correct their people. Hell yeah. That's our job, you see? You should be trying to work out your salvation pertaining to the grace period. Dick sucking ass niggas. You see? But you too busy worrying about sucking and fucking another nigga bitch. You want to build, if you will, in a place that's crumbling, becoming crippled and crumbling. Did you see that shit? You see? You know what I mean? Them that sin rebuke before all. You see? He said all. Because the seed of David is scattered among the 17 heathen nations. You see? It's about to get bad, man. Bad, man. We talking about civil wars, chaos, anarchy, mayhem. You see? It's going to happen, man. These motherfuckers think it's too far-fetched. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Believe that. You see? But that ain't the case, man. Hell yeah, man. A civil war is going to happen. You see? History is going to repeat itself. It's in the Bible, man. You know what you did? You know what I mean? You see? Them that sin rebuke before all. You see? That others also may fear. That's the key. That's the point, man. You know what you dig? You know what I mean? You see? See? You motherfuckers don't fear. You don't fear the Heavenly Father, man. Did you catch that? Did you see that? Believe that. You see? See? He gonna get you motherfuckers, man. You too comfortable, man, in your evilness, your evil, wicked, dirty deeds, your evil, wicked ways. You filthy, nasty ass Babylonians. You Egyptians. You see? Too comfortable, man. At ease. In this filthy, nasty, disgusting ass place. You on your dig, you know what I mean? You see? This is James chapter 4 and verse. You see? James chapter 4 and verse. James 4 and verse 1. You see? James chapter 4 and verse 1. It's the book of James chapter 4 and verse 1. For whence come wars and fightings among you? See? See what this dude is talking about, man? It's going to come true, man. You see? Because this place is going to collapse. People going to panic, man. You see? 911 is not going to save you bitches. You see? It's going to be so chaotic. It's going to be Jack the Rippers, Miles Cunninghams, John Allens, Mr. Goodbars, Ted Bundys. You see? Yeah, because your devil daddy, what'd he say? Be prepared for shock waves. in 2025, any given day. You see, your devil daddy, Claude Suave, what'd he say? He said, be prepared for shockwaves. Look at airplanes keep crashing every single day. You see? Yo. You got airplanes crashing every single day. You see? They're doing this shit on purpose, man. But they want to blame niggas. Some DUI shit. No, the DEI. I forgot what it go into. Department, I forgot what it's called, man. The DEI. You see? Some that consist of diversity. You see? And they want to point the finger at niggas. You see? Yeah. You heard your devil daddy say, he said he don't want no niggas in his army. That's what Donald Trump said, right? See? You better open your eyes. You niggas better open your eyes, man. You know what I mean? You see? Hell yeah. Did you catch that? Did you see that? Believe that? Do you see? James chapter 4 and verse 1. James 4 and verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? He said wars and fightings. Who the fuck is he talking to? He talking to niggas, man. You see, you're gonna fight against these honkies, man, these peckerwoods, these crackers, your devil daddy, Mr. White Man. You see? And you niggas gonna lose. How you gonna fight against Iron Mans? You see, Universal Soldiers. This devil got some shit, man. He got drones. You see, he got robot dogs. You know what I mean? You know, you dig? You see? James chapter 4 and verse 1. You see? James 4 and verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? See? Question mark. These signs of the times we living in. You see? You know what I mean? Come, they, not hence, even of your lusts that war in your members. See? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Ye lust and have not. Exactly. You see? Don't even have no softness, man. No tenderness, man. No tenderness. No softness, man. That's why you niggas so bugged out. You see? You know what I mean? Ye lust and have not. You see? Yeah, because we are at the bottom. Extremely oppressed. You see? Nobody going through what the fuck we going through, man. Us niggas, man. You see? These motherfuckers living off slave trade money. But you dumbass niggas so stupid and blind and crazy. You see? That was a goddamn $1 trillion business that they got paid off free labor from niggas. You see? $1 trillion business, man. And they still living off that shit this present day. You see? You know what I mean? Ye lust and have not. You see? Ye kill and desire to have, if you will. See? You know what I mean? And cannot obtain. That's the key. That's the point. See? This ain't your rest, man. This is the heathen's queendom. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Believe that. You see? You know what I mean? Ye fight and war. That's what it's coming down to, man. People gonna be fighting. You understand? You see? Because of famine. It's gonna be a famine, just like our forefather Joseph. You see? Remember that? In ancient Egypt? People had to go to Joseph just to eat. See, people don't believe in the scriptures, man. Correct? You see? Ye fight and war. You see? Ye, yet ye have not, because ye ask not. Ooh. See? James on fire, wasn't he? So he basically saying, if you don't trust in Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Wah, Yahweh Shai, your ass in trouble. You see?
In all seriousness, they've reached the point of no return. The updates I have for you today are just... It's like, I can't believe we're witnessing this shit. I cannot believe we are living through a horrific chapter of history. Then we'll get to the truth has been revealed about Bill Maher's dinner with Donald Trump. We have some reports coming out of there, so we'll talk about that. Jon Stewart is in awe of Trump's ability to pathologically lie. We have Bill Burr roasting conservative crybabies. Trump and Elon slashing the Meals on Wheels program, which is like one of the lowest, dirtiest things you could do. And then, really important story later on. It's a bombshell story about how the U.S. food system is honestly on the brink of collapse, if I'm being honest with you, because of this honeybee crisis that we're currently dealing with that nobody seems to be talking about. Nobody's talking about it, but we will. So we'll talk about all that and more. Everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps out massively and costs you nothing at all. And of course, much love and appreciation to all of you who make this show work by donating a couple bucks a month on Patreon. That goes a really long way. As you all know, this is real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser. I've never done an ad read or anything like that. And so you guys fund the show from the ground up on Patreon and with your tips on YouTube and with joining Crystal Kyle and friends over on Substack. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. So Mehdi Hasan was having a conversation here with a bunch of anti-Trump Republicans. I believe at least one of these guys is from the Lincoln Project. And they were talking about a scenario, which honestly does not sound absurd to me. If anything, it sounds like likely to me of how this country could end up in a civil war. And so they start talking about the era of the civil rights movement and desegregation and how you had the racist states in the South were hell-bent on not abiding by desegregation and what happened in response to that and how the federal government had to get aggressive, right? And you had this standoff, which was a dire situation. So listen to that, and then they'll get into how this relates to today. Watch.
He called out the Arkansas National Guard to block the integration of the largest public high school in Little Rock, Central High School, successfully. So what did the president do then? He called out the fucking 101st Airborne and sent them. And then he federalized the Arkansas National Guard, and they were able to integrate. So that
the president was an anti-American communist named Eisenhower.
Exactly.
That noted progressive Eisenhower.
Now it's sort of a note that gets lost, except if kind of from this part of the world. Father shut down every public school in Little Rock for a year as a reaction to that. It's still referred to as the lost year in there. But when you have the federal government against the National Guard, as Earl Long, who was governor of Louisiana, Huey Long's brother, said when a segregationist was saying that Huey should send the National Guard and the Highway Patrol to block federal troops from encouraging integration, he said, well, this guy's name was Leander Perez. He's a great Cajun character, segregationist. He said, well, that's fine, Leander, but what are you going to do now if the feds have the nuke? So,
we're in a reverse position right now.
We're in a reverse position.
Then it was the federal government coming in to stop racist and anti-democratic Southern governors. Now we're in a position where the only people that can stand up to Trump are Democratic AGs who are taking him to court, state AGs, and Democratic governors like the Pritzkers of this world. And I think that's where somebody I follow on Twitter, his name is Brandon Friedman, he's a Democratic Party operative, veteran. He made a very good point where he said, I hope governors, blue state governors, are having meetings with their National Guard folks right now. I hope lines of communication are open. I hope relationships are good, because that is going to be the next test of the system. If Trump comes in, federalizes the Guard, insists that they work for him or not, or if, and again, we have a shitty media, so no one really covered this very well. Stephen Miller said very openly last year, I think to the New York Times, and it got lost in all the other shit. He said, what we will do if we were looking for an immigrant that we want to take out, and it's, for example, Maryland, it's Wes Moore's Maryland, has someone we want, we will send in the Virginia Guard from next door. We will send in the Republican Guard. That would mean that Wes Moore's blue National Guard would be up against Virginia's red National Guard. I think that's what they call a civil war in the old days, right?
That scenario that he just laid out is a completely plausible scenario where we're effectively in a civil war at that point, right? So if Stephen Moore, who, by the way, is basically running aspects of the White House, certainly the immigration policy, if he decides, look, I'm sending ICE to Maryland to get these people who I'm claiming are Tren de Aragua or whatever, right? They have no evidence. They make shit up all the time. And the Democratic governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, says, no, you're not. I'm not cooperating with you. You're not coming in here and taking away people's due process rights, taking away their constitutional rights, and shipping them off to an El Salvador slave labor camp. I'm blocking you. Stephen Moore said, I'll send the Red Virginia National Guard, Virginia, the governor is Youngkin, Republican, I'll send the Virginia National Guard into Maryland to get these people. And that's when Wes Moore says, I called up the Maryland National Guard to block you.
I just got paid $60,000 for my car crash from using this app on my phone. And I don't know if you could see this, but it's called the Case Connect Compensation Calculator right here. And it's for $60,000 and I'm about to go cash it. For those of you that don't know what Case Connect is, it's one of the largest settlement payout companies in
To block you. And that's like a state v. state scenario, or state backed by the feds versus state. But as they described there, back during the desegregation fights, thankfully, the federal government was on the right side where they were saying, shut the fuck up, you're going to desegregate, that's the law, bitch. And the racist states were like, no, we're not. They're like, oh, really? And so they tried to deploy the state National Guard to block desegregation, but then the feds sent in federal troops and were like, you're desegregating now. We're not going to let you block this. And so that was a standoff, right? And obviously, eventually, the federal government won. But at the same time, in this scenario, if the federal government wins, what are we looking at? Just absolutely from top to bottom codified fascism, where Democratic attorneys general, Democratic governors can't stop the federal government from being jackbooted thugs and rounding people up without any due process and shipping them off to an El Salvador slave labor camp. So this truly is a crossroads. The other issue, which is a huge issue, is with the courts. They have no enforcement mechanism, right? So this system relies on the goodwill of the executive branch and the goodwill of the legislative branch, that when the judicial branch says something and makes a ruling, because they have judicial review, that the other branches of government go, okay, we're abiding by your ruling. But if they decide we're not going to, well, what do? There are no judicial troops or judicial police or judicial law enforcement. It's just like, but we demand it. And they're like, that's nice, that's cute. Like Andrew Jackson said, oh, you did your ruling, now enforce it. And that's his way of saying, bitch, you got no actual power, you're a paper tiger. And so we're at a whole bunch of crossroads here, and the scenario that they laid out here is perfectly plausible. In fact, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't want the Democratic governors and the Democratic attorneys general to lay in a chalk outline of themselves and say, go ahead, feds, violate whatever law you want, violate the Constitution if you want. Since you're the feds and the supremacy clause of the Constitution exists, you go ahead and we're just going to take a back seat. I wouldn't want that. I want somebody standing up for people's rights. And if that's Democratic governors or Democratic attorneys general, I want that. Right? And if it leads to a standoff, it leads to a standoff. And, I hope the right side of that wins. But what a terrifying scenario to think of. And in the past, guys, what has my line always been on the idea of a civil war in this country? It's incredibly far-fetched to believe that we could have a civil war, for the simple fact that we're packed full of distractions in this country. Are you fucking kidding me? Between professional sports and TV and TikTok and YouTube and Hulu and Netflix and, whatever things you got going on in your own life with your own kids. You go to soccer practice, you go to hockey practice, basketball, whatever the fuck, right? Everybody's got lives, everybody's got jobs, everybody's got hobbies, there's so many good distractions. So it always struck me as incredibly far-fetched. But I have to admit, that's a failure of my own imagination, to imagine a scenario where you have a total stock market collapse. You have millions of people being unemployed, being laid off, both in the private sector and in the public sector. You have tariffs which increase consumer goods massively, at least 20 or 25%. You have a global system which is collapsing because the U.S. is the center of global trade, and now they're putting their middle finger up to everybody, and our own allies turn on us and they drop the dollar as the world reserve currency. You have a government which has gone 100% fascist, totally ignoring the Constitution, shipping people out without due process, etc. And if you have anybody with a conscience or moral clarity and they have a position of power in a state, they are going to have to stand up to that, right? And in that scenario, do you put it past Donald Trump to say open fire on the Maryland National Guard? I fucking don't. Do you put it past Donald Trump to say, Wes Moore, I'm federalizing the Maryland National Guard from you, and then you see a split among the Maryland State National Guard, and some go with Trump, some go with Westmore, and this could get fucking messy. It's already messy. It could get way more messy, right? So, yeah, this is not good, y'all. This is not good. And that was the first explanation I've probably ever heard in the modern era where I'm like, that's totally plausible as to how some sort of actual war between the state and the federal government can kick off, right? And I already think the ball is rolling on a number of things. I think the U.S., our time is limited being the world reserve currency because we've already pissed off all of our allies. They're already making other alliances now behind our backs because they're like, these people are unreliable. These people are chaotic. These people are not good to their word. These people could invade any of us. If he's saying I'm going to steal Greenland, you know, what, you think fucking Australia's sitting there like, we're good? No, you can fucking steal Australia too, right? They're all thinking this shit. And so, TikTok, man, I don't know what the full unraveling is going to be or what the issue is going to be that makes it apparent to everybody, but I already think the ball is rolling. And that's a terrifying thought. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
How often do you think about your poop? Now, some people think about their poop a lot. Others, not so much. Did you know that every...
Hey, motherfuckers scared, man. You see? Motherfuckers are scared, man. They afraid. You know why? Because Esau, Edom, queen of heaven, is collapsing. You see? Hell yeah, man. They don't know what to do, man. Because this time, it ain't going to rejuvenate, revitalize. You see? You know what I mean? What the fuck? This place is done. You see?
Valley Traditional High School is in the middle of a racial controversy right now. A teacher used the N-word towards a student. The word is only 6 letters long, but the impact is far-reaching. And we do want to warn you that some of the language in this story is strong, and it may offend you, it may offend some other people. But since the story is not just about the N-word, it's also about the teacher's intent and definition of the word, we have decided to leave it in the story for you to decide.
And what did he say specifically to you?
Sit down, nigga.
Keyshawn Chambers is a freshman at Valley High School, a Boy Scout, a football player, a member of the ROTC, an honor roll student. He was hanging around his teacher's classroom door in December. The teacher told him to sit down, and the teacher says that Keyshawn used the N-word first.
And I just kind of was stunned a second. Well, then get away from the door, nigga. And I repeated the same insult because that's sort of what I've been trained to do.
The school district says that is not what they trained English teacher Paul Dawson to do.
He tried to say I said it, and I didn't say it, and no one else in the class knows that I said it because I didn't.
Documents from the school investigation show that several of the students interviewed from Valley did not hear Keyshawn say the N-word first. Dawson says that students use the slang version of the N-word at Valley High School all the time. He says N-I-G-G-E-R is a racial slur, but says that students use N-I-G-G-A as often as they'd say dude or hey man. And Dawson says as much as he does not like the word, he still used the slang version to feel more comfortable with black students.
Why is this word used so frequently? So I just don't understand it, and I'm trying to understand it. I need help. Yes, I use nigga. I've used it. I admit it. I put the H on it to emphasize it's nigga. That, you know, nigga this, nigga please, nigga. Can you lend a nigga a pencil?
What kind of example are you setting for your students if you use a word that you don't want them to use?
Upon reflection, that's not good.
Dawson was suspended for 10 days without pay from January 9th to January 23rd, and he has to go to diversity training. He says that he's learned from this experience and hopes that others think twice before using the N-word.
I will never say any form of nigga. I'm cured of that.
Paul Dawson says that he is sorry for the way things were handled, but Keyshawn says that he is not looking for...
Motherfuckers ain't sorry. You see? Do you trust a devil? Do you really trust a serpent? Esau, Edom, the devil the Bible speaks of? You see? I don't think so, man. Fuck no, man. You see? That's what's wrong with you niggas, man. You know what I mean? You see? You believe in the devil. You believe in your slave master. You see? Man, this shit ain't gonna stop until Yahushua come back and take his ass out of power. You know what I mean? Did you catch that? Did you see that? Believe that? You see? This is the book of It's the book of 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. You see? 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, you see, which represent Hamashiach Yahushua. He's that living stone, man. Our big brother. You dig? You know what I mean? You see? He represent that living stone, man. We got to trust in him, believe on him. He's going to avenge. You see? Yes, he's going to recompense and get vengeance upon these devils. You see? You know what I mean? 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. You see? 1 Peter 2 and verse 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, you see, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of power and precious. You see? Hell yeah, man. The elect. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Believe that. You see? Like to say, call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai. Call Lord, call Elohim, call Elohim. Call Elohim La, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai. All praise Mashiach Yahushai.